Hey you guys, it's Kim here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I already filmed one this morning and it's already up on my channel. But this video is actually a story time. So I am gonna actually start a story time series. I did kind of start Coffee Talk, so they're gonna be totally different. This might be a long video. I am filming on my iPad. You might want to grab like coffee or tea or a snack or whatever you would like, because this is a story on how I ended up losing my best friend. So I will be looking at my phone because there are certain topics I want to talk about. So it is on my notes. So just let me pull that up. I have a couple of videos I want to do for story time. Let's just have a sip of coffee right now. Okay, so this story took place towards the end of grade 10. My best friend was dating, okay, let's just say my best friend's name is Peyton. We'll use Peyton as my best friend, and then for her boyfriend we'll use Brian. And then there's another girl that I'll start talking about, and she'll be like the whole cause of it. But, okay, so at the beginning of grade 10, my best friend, Peyton, was dating, or still is dating, this guy named Brian. So her and Brian were really close and really, like, they were dating, of course, right? They started dating in the summer leading up to grade 10. He's actually 3 years older than us. So he was actually graduating that summer, like the following summer. So he was in grade 12 and we were in grade 10. We were from two totally different towns, two totally different schools. So she got to see him whenever, pretty much. And well, of course, Brianne was in volleyball, I was in figure skating, so we were in two different sports. She was in a school sport, I was in a sport outside of school, so I had my own skating friends. She had volleyball friends from school, so we were all kind of friends with the same people, but she was like my best friend from the time we were like 3, maybe 4, somewhere around there. So like we were like really great friends. And around this time I became good friends with her boyfriend Brian. And so Brianne had this volleyball tournament. It would have been the spring. It would be April of 2007, I want to say. Yeah, 2007, I believe. Or 2008. When did I get my license? Somewhere around there. So in the spring, there was this school dance in a town where Brian was from. So at this dance, it was at their hall, and so I went with my ex-friend, who has been my ex-friend since this all happened. But I guess I'll talk about how she was my friend first, and we'll call her Michaela. So me and Michaela went to this school dance, or not a school dance, it was kind of like a public dance, I guess, with Michael. Well, with my best guy friend. We'll just name him Michael, actually. So me, Michaela, Michael, and then another friend from another town was with us, and we'll name him don't know what we'll name him. We'll name him Craig. So me, Michaela, Michael, and Craig. Oh shoot, no, we can't. That's his actual name. We'll name him Kyle. Sorry if he actually watches this video. So us four, we drove in Kyle's car. Michaela was actually driving. I think I was either also in the passenger front seat, or else I was in the back seat with Kyle, and then Michael was in the front seat with Michaela. Either or, I can't remember where I was sitting when we were going to this dance. And at first, my parents didn't want to let me go because it was my grandparents' anniversary. So it was like the day of their anniversary this dance was, and I begged my mom to let me go. And so of course I went, but that was the 3 people I went. I was the 4th one. So when we got to the dance, my brother and a few of my cousins were there, so I knew people. I wasn't much of a partier in grade 10. I didn't start like really going to parties until like that spring of grade 10, because of course my skating slowed down around that time. It was like carnival time, relaxing time before spring school started, and so I'm touching my hair a lot. Sorry. So I knew people. My brother was there. He was the one that bought me beer. My brother is 4.5 years older than me. So for the sake of his privacy, I'm not gonna mention his name. I'm not even gonna give my brother a fake name. I'm just gonna name him as my brother. Me and him are very close. But for the sake of this video and his privacy, I'm just gonna say my brother. So my brother bought me booze. So every time he was finished his beer, he would bring me a beer, and I was still on my first one. So by the time, like, I was never a beer drinker, and till this day, I'm not a beer drinker. I can't stand beer. I think it took like 8 beers to actually make me drunk. So, and I drank them very slowly, and I don't even remember. I think we left the dance at like 2:30, 2:45. I can't even remember. But like, leading up to that, I was starting to black out, like, but like, I was able to control what was right and what was wrong. Like, I was able to distinguish what was right between right and wrong. So I knew that no matter how many beers I had, I wasn't going to do anything stupid. So like, one of my friends from my friend's boyfriend's school where the dance was, he was there, but Michaela was like, she knew I liked him, and she did a lot of stuff right in front of me that really pissed me off at that dance. And so I went up to my best friend, Peyton's boyfriend, Brian, because Peyton wasn't there. She was at a volleyball tournament, and I didn't know. I was like excited to see her there, and you know, she wasn't there. So I went up and had a conversation with Brian and asked him where Peyton was, and of course he told me that she was at a volleyball tournament, and I gave him like this big hug because me and him were good friends too and everything. And at that time, I think my brother and our neighbor, who is like my brother's best friend, who is my cousin's husband now, he was our ride home, and my brother always went to parties with him. They were around the same age. Anyways, getting ready to leave, and I was like starting to like really feel tired and wanting to pass out. And so they told me just get in the back seat. So instead of going in my brother's way into the back seat of our neighbor's truck, I went on the other side. I didn't realize he was going to the washroom. So he told me then to go on the other side where my brother was. So I got in and I like immediately passed out in the back seat of his truck. But of course my brother and him were, in the front seat. So they didn't realize I passed out. But then right before we left the parking lot of the hall, and when I guess I woke up as we were like leaving the parking lot, and then I passed out again, and I didn't wake up till I heard my brother and him laughing, saying that I passed out. And then I like woke up. I was just like, I can't believe I passed out. But like, I was tired. I had 8 beer in me. I was already blacking out at the hall. So like, when I went to sleep, like, it was like the weekend of Ukrainian Easter. And yeah, I'm Ukrainian, so on my dad's side. So we were going to my baba's for Ukrainian Easter that Sunday. So the dance happened on the Saturday. And so I woke up, I had a major headache, and like my brother was up before me, and I think I didn't wake up till 11, and we had to be at my baba's for like 12. And so I was like rushing to get ready and everything, and I was just like, we were going for 1 and we were there for supper. And so I was just like, I had this major headache, and my brother was just laughing because he was just like, yeah, I bought you a bunch of beer and you drank all of them. And so like my brother was just bugging me. But then before we left, I got a call from Michaela saying that wanting to talk to me about some stuff. So it's just like, okay, well, I can only talk for a little bit. I have to get ready because I am needed to go to a family event or family occasion in a little bit, like, and I still need to get ready. So when I'm on the phone with her, she's telling me that Brian at the dance, I can't remember if she said after I left or while I was there. I think she said after I left, Brian kissed her 3 times. And I was just like, okay. And then I was just like, why would Brian kiss you when he's dating Peyton and he's so in love with her? And she's just like, well, that's what happened. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So like I'm still on the phone with her, and then she continues to tell me that I punched her 8 times in the face at the dance. And I was just like, okay, that is really fishy. Like, I was just like, I would never do that. I'm not a type of person to start conflict. I'm not a type of person to like go and get myself involved in conflict. Like, I can say I stood up for myself and I maybe said a few things, but I wouldn't go to the extent of being physical with someone who I considered a friend. So of course, like, my best friend Michael, he was working that Sunday. What?
I'm going out to wash my vehicle.
Okay, Daddy. Bye. Sorry about that. So Michael was working that day, and I asked my cousin once I got to my baba's if he wanted to go for a walk and get candy at the store that Michael was working at, and it was the store that Peyton's parents owned. and I knew her parents weren't there, so I was able to like talk to Michael about it. And so I brought up everything to Michael, and he's just like, Kate, that's really fishy. And like I told him about how Michaela said that Brian kissed her 3 times and everything, and I was just like, that I can't see happen, because whenever I went to a party and Brian and Payne were there, you could see that they did not leave each other. So I was just like, that's really hard for me to believe that he would go and just randomly kiss Michaela. So I had a hard time believing it. Michael had a hard time believing it. So we kind of talked about it, and he said he asked me to talk to Brian and tell Brian about it. And then Michael was gonna talk to Peyton about it. And this is where it all went wrong. And just before I get into that, I asked Kendall if he's seen me. Oh my God, I just said his name. Just pretend you didn't hear that. I asked Michael if he saw that I punched Michaela 8 times at this dance, and he said no. Like, he was physically always around me. He didn't leave me, even though my brother was like sitting right behind me. Michael did not leave my side. He knew that it was my first time drinking at that time, because I'm normally the designated driver when I go to parties. But this time, I knew I had a ride home anyways, so I was able to just let loose and drink. But he knew that I wouldn't like do anything stupid, and if I did, he would stop me. So Michael said, no, you didn't. Like, I know that for a fact. And I was just like, okay, well, that's just what she's saying then. And so the leading up to school, so this was Sunday. Monday morning, Peyton would not say a word to me. She ignored me, she wouldn't talk to me, and I was just like, okay, what did I do? Like, what did I say? And then all of a sudden, everyone in my class would not talk to me. Even Michaela wouldn't talk to me. And I was just like, okay, what the hell is going on? So I knew where Michael lived. I had plans with him. We made plans Sunday to hang out Monday after school to figure out what was going to happen or how to like further on this. So I went up to Michael at like recess because he smoked, so he was always outside with the guys talking. Like, even though all the guys in my class didn't smoke, it was just him, Michael, and a few other guys from the older classes too, and they were all together. So of course I always went outside to just talk. I was starting to become more close with the guys just because, you know, girls tend to be more drama. And of course I always was the designated driver for the guys. That's just how it was. And I remember Michael just saying, we'll talk at my house. And like, I knew a bunch of the other guys were gonna be there too, so I felt like, okay, that'll be fine, whatever. It'll give me some reasonable doubt, some closure, whatever, about what's going on. So when I get there, Michael's just like, okay, so this is what's going on. This is why no one was talking to you. So from what Michael told me is that Michaela realized that I went to Michael and told him what she told me, and then she found out that we went and we were talking to Brian and Peyton. We were both doing that. So before me and, or like it was after I talked to Brian, and it was after Michael talked to Peyton about what happened and what was going on and what was being said, that Michaela decided to meet up with Brian and Peyton and say that I was the one that called her. I was the one that said this whole thing that she actually said to me. So that's why Peyton wouldn't talk to me, and that's why Brian wouldn't talk to me. And then I text them both, and I was just like, okay, Michael just told me what the fuck is going on. And I was just like, that whatever Michaela told you is not the truth. I literally went straight to Michael and I told him exactly what she told me right before anything happened. And they're just like, well, we believe Michaela over you. And I was just like to Peyton, we've been friends since we were 3 or 4. And you've known this other girl since the summer. And I was just like, how can you go from believing a friend you've known your whole life to a girl you've been friends with since summer? I was just like, whatever. If that's how you want to be, then fine. So I started just hanging out with the guys. I was just like, whatever. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yes, cosmetology. Like, cosmetology in our school is only 1 year. It is grade 10. And I had to deal with all the girls in grade 10. With that, I had no way around it. The guys were in woodshop, I believe is what it was called in grade 10. I couldn't even drop cosmetology to take woodshop. My principal wouldn't let me because I was almost done that school year, so it was just like I would have had to start woodshop all over again. So I was just like, whatever. I only have to put up with it for a little bit longer. So about a week into May, my brother decided to go out and take me with him and go to this party. I went. Michaela was there. Brian was there. So this party, I saw all of them. I didn't talk to any of them. I started making different friends. And, well, Brian came up to me and he's just like, hey, we need to talk. And I was just like, okay, whatever. A couple of my new friends were just like, no, dude, like, just leave her alone. She doesn't want any of that drama. Like, Michaela's here. She just wants to stay away. Like, you and Payne will have to talk to her another time. Like, no, this isn't going to happen. So I went up to my brother. I said, hey, can we go? Like, I just don't want to start drama. I know you're not ready to go, but can you at least drive me home? I know you only had 1 beer. Like, can you just take me home and then you can come back? And so my brother, of course, took me home, and he's just like, on the way home, are you okay? I was just like, no, I'm not. Like, this is what's happening, and like, my life is literally ruined because of this girl. And my brother knew her, of course, and knew what type of girl she was. And he's just like, okay, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I was just like, no, stay out of it. Like, these are your friends too. Like, I don't want to get you involved. Like, me and Payne and Brian will figure it out. We'll figure it out. So it was 2 weeks before Brian's graduation, and I got this text from Brian, and it said, hey, Michaela just came clean and told us that you were telling the truth and she lied. straight to our face. I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I really don't care anymore. Like, you guys haven't talked to me since this all happened, since I decided to just tell you what was going on and what was being said, and trying to be a really good friend here, and saying that, thinking that she may spread it around, which she did. And then 2 hours later, after Brian texts me, Peyton texts me and apologizes and says, hey, I'm sorry, I hope this didn't ruin our friendship, but you know, I wasn't sure who to trust, and it seemed more like I could trust Michaela over you. And I was just like, whatever, like, we've been best friends since we were 3, and you chose to trust a girl that actually lied to your face. And I was trying to protect you and Brian from rumors being spread, and I was just like, this is bullshit. I need time to think. And I told them both that. So 2 days later, Brian texts me and says, hey, I would really like you to come to my grad party. He said, me and Peyton would like you to come to my grad party. It'd be nice, we can talk and everything. And I was just like, you know what, I'll come, but I guarantee you I won't be there long. Because I was just like, I don't trust you guys anymore. And the fact that the one person that was my best friend actually chose a girl that she met that frickin' summer over a friend that she's known her whole life. It made my heart like sink. Like, she was my best friend. I knew her secrets. I knew everything. I knew the guys she had crushes on. I knew the sneaky notes she did. I knew everything. And the fact that she went behind my back and chose a girl she's only known for like 7 months, it really hurt me. And still to this day, I haven't forgiven her. Like, I haven't even forgotten what she did. And I went to Brian's grad party with Michael and 2 other friends at the time. And this friend, I'll call him Eric, because Eric has wanted to hook up with me since I was 15. And he's the same age as me, just a couple of months older than me, and graduated a year before me, just because of where my birthday lands. And so Eric tells Michael and our other friend, we'll say Jason, to go ahead and go to the party, go to Brian's house, because we had to park a little ways away from his house. And so whatever, I was just like, okay, Eric wants to talk to me, whatever. Well, actually, he wanted to hook up in the backseat of my mom's SUV. And I was just like, no, I don't want to hook up with you, like, no. So of course I was just like, I'm gonna go to the party, you grab what you need and meet me there. Like, no, I don't want to hook up with you. So anyways, we get there. I give Brian his grad gift, which was like a card, and I think I put like $40. And I was working that summer or that spring, so I was able to just put money and say it was from me and my brother. And my brother didn't go to his grad party. And so I was just like, you know, this is your grad gift. He gave me a hug and everything, and I was just like, okay, where's Peyton? Like, I really want to talk to her like I know I can talk to her at school, but I'd rather just say hey. And like Payne was actually really shocked that I was there, so I don't know if she even knew I was coming, but she was talking with Michael and a few of our other friends from that school that Brian went to. And so I was just like, you know, Peyton, I'm really sorry for how our friendship has gone, but I don't think we can pick up where our friendship was after this. You know, you're always gonna be my best friend, but we're gonna just have to be acquaintances. We're not gonna be best friends anymore. After this, I can't deal with it anymore, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. And so I left, and I went back, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have a drink. And so I had a drink, and then Eric comes up to me and says, hey, Michael wants, let's call her Amanda. Michael wants Amanda, or is getting Amanda to fight you. So I was just like, okay, like, what's going on here? So I went up to Michael. I said, so I hear you're wanting Amanda to fight me. And he's just like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, well, Eric just came up to me and said, you're trying to get Amanda to fight me. And he's just like, no. And I was just like, okay, we need to leave. Like, we need to get Eric and Jason, and we need to go and talk, because I am not ruining Brian's party, and I'm definitely not ruining it for Peyton either. Even though me and her weren't anymore friends, we were just acquaintances now.